In the last 2 weeks alone, my government in Barbados has had to put out as clear fake news, one that sought to ban President Trump from our country, one that sought to impose on Barbados travel advisories that didn't exist.
When you have the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Most Honorable Mia Mottley, using a term coined by Donald Trump, fake news, as a problem in the Caribbean, you know that things have changed. So my question is fake news a real problem in the Caribbean? Let's talk about it. So the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Most Honorable Mia Mottley, in Jamaica addressing the CARICOM heads of government recently, one of the things that came up in her address to the heads of CARICOM is about fake news in the Caribbean, and that Caribbean, the governments across the region, need to do something that would stem fake news spreading around the Caribbean. And she also spoke about her experience in Barbados with fake news. So just in case you missed it, this is what the Prime Minister of Barbados had to say.
A CARICOM validation mechanism in the absence of the providers of those platforms not taking the action to validate truth any further. And if we fail to do so, we put seriously at risk the stability of our democracies. In the last 2 weeks alone, my government in Barbados has had to put out as clear fake news, one that sought to ban President Trump from our country, one that sought to impose on Barbados travel advisories that didn't exist. And it is almost as if this is a daily exercise now for our countries, because those who have nothing to do, as we learned as children, the devil finds work for idle hands. We need our own CARICOM blue tick to validate truth in this community.
So that was the Prime Minister of Barbados in Montego Bay, Jamaica, addressing the heads of government of CARICOM. So what are my thoughts about this? I am very concerned about this. And the reason why I'm very concerned, not just because this was something that was coined by President Donald Trump, and we have seen how Donald Trump have used this whole idea of fake news over the years and to his advantage. And when you look at what Donald Trump does, is that fake news to him is news that he disagrees with. And we have seen that passed down into other space. So the idea of fake news is not the absence of correct information to me. The talk about fake news is that if I disagree with something, despite that the information is there to prove that this is legitimate, then this is fake news. And that is the term that a lot of people are using, fake news, these days. So I'm very concerned about this. And my main concern is that the whole idea of fake news would not impact traditional media in any way at all. And that is my opinion. Because we have seen over over decades with traditional media like BBC, Fox, CNN, like all of those major networks, and we have seen print magazine with a lot of fake news on those magazines, and these magazines and media network, they still go on. The idea of fake news now, I think this would be an attack on freedom of speech. This could also be an attack on the new media, like people that operate like channels like how Carib 21 operates on YouTube. You would have like Vincentian Times, you would have Afro Grenadian, and a lot of content creators now that are popping up, that are talking about things that are happening in the Caribbean. We have had a few creators now that take active interest in not just what is going on in their country, because when you look at Jamaica, there are a lot of content creators, a lot of news vloggers that talk about news, in particular just pertaining to Jamaica. They are out there for Trinidad and Tobago, but now there are a few that cover the entire Caribbean. And when you disagree with things that they say, the easiest thing to turn to and say it's fake news. And I've had my own experience in this one, in particular when covering the Citizenship by Investment program, when I clearly, like I go out there, I get facts, I get information from legitimate websites. I get information from legitimate news networks about what is going on with the Citizenship by Investment program. But whenever you talk about it and there are people that are opposing to what you are saying, even though you're bringing facts, they will dub you as fake news. And that is a problem to me. Like, if in the Caribbean, if we're not going to be able to talk about things that we disagree with, because personally, Carib 21 is not a news channel. We don't cover news. What we do, we react to news. So, for example, we see what is going on in Jamaica, we see what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago, and we see what is going on in Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and we take stories from those local medias across the Caribbean, because one of the things with local media, they'll bring the news, but they'll not have a conversation on it. So what we will do, we'll take the news that they're putting out there and we will have a conversation on the news report and see how people in the Caribbean think about it. But people will still call you fake news if they disagree with something that you say. So that is my concern about this whole thing about fake news. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you think that we have a big problem with fake news? And do you think that this is something that CARICOM needs to focus on, or should individual islands deal with this with their individual government? And the reality is, when we talk about new media, like what goes on social media, in particular YouTube, we still have to be accountable, because there are numerous cases out there of media personnel, like new media, that's faced lawsuit, that has been charged millions of US dollars for putting out false information. So at the end of the day, there's still responsibility on independent creator, and also YouTube can also take down your channel if you are not responsible enough with it. And same thing with Instagram, same thing with TikTok. So just sound off in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.